Hi guys, we're going 4 minutes early. I can't wait anymore. Actually, we're going a minute and 15 seconds early. Make sure I got everything lined up here. If I can get some, if I can get some audio confirmations, that'd be great. What's up, Pulse? And type it too. What's going on, guys? Thank you for coming back so early, even though it's 11:02 a.m. in the East. You should just be seeing a screenshot right now. We're gonna get into some charts. Hear me but low, man. I know this is microphone. All right, let's say hi to some people first, really quick. All right, I'll put them on. Forget it. There, better. They just don't fit right anymore, you know? They get like old and the cushions get flat. So I'll set this up here so I'm not looking down on you guys all the time. Another tornado. Yeah, check this out. Speaking of which, fine, we'll get right into it. Tornado. I have radar scope pulled up. Look at Mississippi right now. We'll do this one right here. Tornado warning in Mississippi in Harrison right now. It expires in about 14 minutes. Thank you, guys. Cyndia, what's up? Dark Demonic, great name. Unlikely Cat, Meme, X, YouTube, thank you. Harmon, what's up? We'll be waiting for you, bud. Check that out. Okay, so we're going to zoom in. Wait, hold on. Let's get display capture on. Get rid of this. We don't need to watch this, right? Nah. Break image, go away. All right, how about now? Can you guys see the Dark Demonic? You're very welcome. Hey, man, it's almost Halloween. How could you not like that? All right, are you guys seeing the radar scope chart here? Janet, if I knew, I would give you all the answers. We're just here to cover it. But this is some serious stuff. This thing went to 100% out of nowhere. So, all right, so you guys can see the I love the intro. All right, we'll play it in a little bit, but I want to catch this before it disappears. So right now, Harrison, Mississippi. This is in front of whatever we're going to be dealing with as far as Tropical Storm Olga, which is now at 100% chance of cyclone formation. So really quick, because it's a tornado, we should check this out first. Right now, we're in super res reflectivity. This is just showing you the storm cell. If I get rid of that, you could see this actual cell right now. I'll hit pause. Sorry about that. Phone's going to make some noise. Nothing I could do about it right now. But you can see this is current time right now. So this cell is being measured from the back end going forward. So we got Lyman in there. Gulfport had just passed over, and it's heading towards Saucier. Saucier. That seems like it's in Alabama. That's going to be... Okay, that's all good. So this is the cell we're looking at now. See how that just shifted right there in front of our eyes? Did you guys see that? That box just shifted north above Gulfport and kind of widened out. Chris, what's up, buddy? Oh, man, go check out Chris's pictures on Instagram. Chris, if you want to post your Instagram on here, go right ahead, man. I'll approve it, or I'll have one of the mods approve it. But you got, like, some sick pictures out there today. So, anyway, back to what I was talking about, guys. This is current time right now. If I hit play, you're kind of seeing the last hour moving into this cell. So this cell came in from the Gulf, very strong. It was over warm water, and then boom, right through Gulfport. And now we're in an area, it's pretty much just the county names, Limer and Gulfport. It moved just to the east of Gulfport. But now if we turn on the velocity chart, this is what we use to measure tornadoes. You can kind of get these green, like camouflage colors within this box. And more times than none, that's either a funnel cloud, which can be seen, especially this time of day. It's 11, maybe 10 o'clock in this area. No, it's Texas. It's 11 o'clock in that area. So the winds are the biggest part of this. No, it's all good, Chris. It's all good. There it is right there. Boom. There. That is exactly what we're looking for. And I knew we'd see this too. You see it move up through Gulfport. Here it is right here. It was a tornado in the water. That could have been a water spout to begin with. And right there, that's That could very well be a tornado. In fact, we're going to do this again. We're going to go to Tornado HQ, and we're just going to see what they had to say about it. I haven't even looked at this stuff yet, guys. Have not even looked at it. And there it is right there. First thing that pops up. All right, so we're talking Harrison, Mississippi, right here. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Gulfport, moving north at 25 miles an hour. What did we just talk about? Gulfport. So this thing is accurate, guys. This is totally worth it, this chart. Look at what's going on around this area, though. This is just the beginning of Olga. This is the northern bands of Olga, not even running over my cord here. All right, so these aren't even the storms. Well, they're associated with Olga because everything's pushing up from the Gulf right now, but each one of these lines you see is a different storm cell. Like this area, for example, let's back out, see, by New Orleans. Check this out. New Orleans is right here, surrounded by big storm cells right now. You can see they get a little bit stronger as they get closer to the radar. And if I back out here, I know some of this is hard to read because it's a lot of different colors and stuff. See this purple band, completely normal. It's just part of the frequency of the actual radar itself. 8 more minutes till that expires in Harrison. So we could have very well have already seen a tornado. In fact, the more prominent part of this actually came and went just as it went over Gulfport. And you'll see this one more time. I just want to show you guys. What's up, North Carolina? Nick Dyson, how you doing? There it is right there. It was more than likely a tornado right under Gulfport and possibly right after, and then it starts to fade out. You'll see in the last frame it fades out. You'll see it come in from the coast right there. Boom, very defined colors, red colors right there. 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. And then we move into the pinks. It gets into 57 miles an hour. Very, very likely for a funnel cloud to have dropped from that. But that's not the only thing, guys. You got to understand this stuff is going to be coming in now for the next 2 or 3 days. So Louisiana, we talked about in the previous video I made this morning, Louisiana is going to be the target zone for this storm, even though it's going to be a widespread storm. It's going to cover areas of Alabama, Mississippi, maybe even the Panhandle. It all depends on the jet stream, which we also talked about. So I'm going to try to keep this semi-short for now because I'm making other videos later. So we went over a lot of this stuff in the video this morning, and we talked a lot about the jet stream. The jet stream is the reason for all this. So if you notice, this storm is coming straight up right now. The jet stream's kind of pulling a little bit high, but once this arc comes down, it's going to swing like a pendulum I mentioned. It's going to swing from west to east, and that's what's going to push this storm at last minute out this way. So it's kind of a hit or miss thing. Right now it wants to come straight up. There's no force really moving it anywhere else. You can see these arrows faintly. They're coming up through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, but it's coming straight up, it looks like. So if I show you some of these charts, you'll see what I'm talking about. Tornado HQ, we'll read that in a sec, but look at the formation going on here now. So I have a little close-up view for you. Oh, yeah, 17. Wait, I sound like I'm 17? That's a compliment, I guess. I wonder what would happen if a hurricane formed with a snowstorm. You know what? I would not be surprised. The day after tomorrow. I don't mean the day after tomorrow, I mean the movie. Anyway, look at the formation of this, guys. Those black clouds shooting up into the sky, those are high-altitude clouds. That's why I made that point the other day of talking about that storm that literally went to the southwest, met up with another storm in Mexico, expanded, wrapped around, and now here we go again. It's almost like recycled moisture that's coming up for Olga. So this is a close-up view. You can see Florida here, outline of Florida. We see these scattered strips going over the Panhandle right now. And look at the severe weather going over the area of Baton Rouge, the most eastern part of all the water inlets here. We don't have any counterclockwise spin yet, so we don't have to worry about any sort of storm surge. But you're starting to see right now, the momentum wants to bring it in this direction. You're going to see as the jet stream starts moving west to east like this, it's going to cause like almost like a top spin, and this thing's going to start whipping counterclockwise. We may even see an eye with this storm, just like Nestor. Guys, remember, Nestor formed right here too. Same exact spot, so it's like that looks like the center right there. We got a big bulge here. It's going to be right around this area, and they were expecting this thing to form this afternoon, and we're pretty much there, about 45 minutes away from noon. In my opinion, this will be a tropical storm by the end of the day, if not by this evening. And we're going to be dealing with pretty similar situation than we dealt with Nestor. 5-foot storm surge, wind damage, You know, things were getting blown over all over the place near Mexico Beach, Panama, all the way down towards Tampa with Nestor. Now, this one's going to be more to the west, more of a Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama storm, but it could be worse because there's so many more water inlets in these areas. So if this thing comes up this way and starts counterclockwise spinning, boom, we got all these areas here that are just going to get submerged in water. In fact, we'll pull up Google Earth really quick because it's the only really way to, like, look at those inlets in detail. Where is it? There we go. Let's let that come up. Yeah, there's some areas of the Gulf that are still 90 degrees. It's crazy. I was showing the heat index the other day. I believe I showed it this morning quickly. But just check this out. So we're talking, this storm's already coming over New Orleans, as we can see on radar scope. We back out, see this outlet right to the south of New Orleans. Let's see where this thing is pulled up to. Still there. We got about 2 more minutes left in this warning right here. That could be a tornado. If anyone could verify that, we just caught a tornado live on radar scope. So here's that outlet right here. You can match that to right here, Mississippi Delta. So let's look at some of these areas that are going to be prone to this water if we get that counterclockwise spin. Obviously, the Mississippi Delta. Chandeleur Sound, absolutely. This piece of land right here actually helps block some of the stuff from this area. Not much of population around here, obviously. We got a major highway here. And then we get into the area of West Wago and New Orleans and all these areas here. Now, it would take a pretty big hurricane, a Category 1 and above, to really whip those winds around in the water to get into New Orleans like that. But that doesn't mean they're not going to get the effects of this. This thing's going to be a heavy rainmaker, that's for sure. And we know this because of how dense these clouds are getting. Look at how this is shooting now up almost from, not Cancun, you know, the other side of that area. But you can see how they're starting to form together and stick, and that's the first telltale sign of a tropical storm. You get a bunch of different storms. The heat rises from the ocean, comes straight up, and then moves out. And as that happens, these things start to connect. And now we're starting to see more of an organized blob here as opposed to all these strip storms going on. And that's really what you want to look for. And that is why we're seeing this. Look, that number does not get much higher than 100%. So we read this earlier. You can see the top end clouds are really starting to shoot up into the sky. The higher they are, the more chance they have of becoming a cyclone. The higher up winds are much stronger than lower level winds. And we also have the jet stream on our side too. The jet stream is really pushing all this moisture that's coming from the Gulf through most of the mid states into the Northeast. That's exactly where this thing is heading. It's kind of curling up. It'll go in through New Orleans, Mississippi, Alabama, and then there were some models that showed this thing coming right up to the Northeast. They showed it cutting out. Some of it have it shooting straight up the middle of the country. Now, I don't know if that's going to be exactly what's going to happen. A lot of these charts are starting to lean this thing towards the northeast in a way. If you could follow this low pressure line right here, there's a high pressure out here. That'll be good and gone by the time the storm gets there. But it's this back end high pressure that we showed in the GIF that is bringing a possible snowstorm. This entire part of the country is one giant high pressure right now. In fact, I think I pulled it up. You can kind of see it here. If I back up, we went over this last video too. See this curl right here? This is a high pressure system with about minimal moisture involved with it. Most of the moisture is coming from the Gulf and is settled over the central area of the country now. But as we move forward, you see that big curl that comes down? That's part of the jet stream allowing much cold air to come down into the country. And I should have had this pulled up too, but we'll pull it up right now. And you can just see the drastic difference in temperature right now from the west to the east. I mean, check this out. Sorry, I'm not answering comments right now, guys. I don't want to get off track yet. I'll get back there and I'll touch base with each and every one of you. Look at some of these numbers right now, though. Near the Midwest here, we got 26, 29, 27, 31, 32, 38. Very, like, prone for snow. And then up here, we got 50s and 48s. A little bit warmer here because that high pressure is already down in this area. And this is going to swoop across, and it's going to be cold for everybody soon. But the point I'm trying to make here is that this is all due to the jet stream. So the picture of the jet stream with a big dip comes down like this. It comes down through Texas now and then straight up to the Great Lakes. That's allowing all that cold air to come down from Canada. And then the uplift right here, which is allowing Olga to form, stay formed, and move into these warm waters of the Gulf and then up in this direction, is an up dip or an upflow of the jet stream, which allows the warm Caribbean air to come up. So The jet stream's a force field, and we talk about that a lot. We'll talk about it till, kingdom come, doesn't matter, but that's what controls our weather. And you could just see right on the edge there of the jet stream, the temperatures kind of get more and more mild. And then as you get south of the jet stream, we're talking Florida temperatures like that. So Texas is one of those states when it comes to October and things like that where it could be 80 degrees one day and then it could be 25 degrees the next day, as you can see here. So jet stream is a big playmaker as far as this storm goes, and it looks like it's going to be just behind it. So it's actually going to nudge this storm up and in through Louisiana. And that's the point I'm trying to make here now that they've switched to 100%. Sorry, just reading an update on my phone. Right before I got on here, a buddy of mine called me I hadn't talked to in years. So here's another chart for you showing the Louisiana, a little bit less of a detailed Doppler radar, but it gives you an idea of where the severe weather is right now. And it's right in that inlet by the border of Mississippi and Louisiana with the severe weather there. So you take radar scope. We could back out here a little bit. In fact, where's the main source right now? All right, so we got that tornado warning expired, I believe. It should be gone. It's not showing up here, but it's showing up here. So that's a good thing. But once again, here is the area of most severe weather as of right now, and it's going to be right here. We got Lake Borgne, Cat Island, Bay St. Louis, Gulfport, Bilox, Pascagoula, all those areas, Horn Island, all these islands here. Yeah, they're going to be under a little bit of an issue for the next couple days, actually, guys. If this is already starting now, we got a couple days of this stuff to deal with. So, and it's moving fairly quickly. I mean, that's a pretty strong flow right there. And it's not going to go much off course than that. You can see that jet stream area coming down, and then up here, this is that cold front right here, too. This is extremely cold here, extremely warm here. That line is right there. So this thing, you're going to see it peeling off on the west side of the storm, and this is going to go up, and then soon you're going to see the east side of the storm turn into the strong side as we start seeing the counterclockwise spin, and then boom, it's going to be Louisiana and Mississippi all day for this storm, especially this inlet right here. So we could be seeing 5 to 6 foot storm surge from this thing, give or take. It could be more, it could be a little less. It all depends on the angle it hits in this area. And then that downflow is probably going to bring colder air down. It's going to be a very interesting storm, to say the least. So we're going to be checking the lightning charts. We're going to be checking high altitude clouds with that, because the high altitude clouds really show what's going on the ground. There's going to be a lot of straight line winds with this storm, like we had with Nestor, because of the way it's moving. It formed quick and it's moving quick. So those are the things you want to look out for. Now, on to you guys. Norway, thanks for being here, buddy. I knew you'd be there. I can actually attend today. Yeah, that's a good thing. I'm glad when you can make it, man. Is this the second person that said I sound like I'm 17? Why 17? Why not 18 at least? I wonder what would happen if Hurricane Form of Snow. Love that movie. Yeah, I know. It's a great movie. I'm in Florida. The air here is so bad right now. Muggy weather, as bad as I can remember. Winter can't come any faster. Yeah, it clears out the moisture, at least. I know that. I thank you. If I sound young, that's okay. I'm happy with that. I'll take sounding young. But yeah, I think we went over most of the important information. Let me read this to you guys. Let's do some reading. I know, boring reading, but we got to do it. So this is meteorologist Glenn Glazer. He's a good guy. Look at this. You can see this thing is it's about to pack a punch. You see some of the spaghetti plots here. I don't know about this one here, because that jet stream's really, really pressing hard just on Houston. It's bordering Houston right now until you get into the Gulf, and then the Gulf water's too warm. I don't see this thing tracking too much to the west anymore. If anything, it's going to stay diagonal just like it is right now, or it could even warp this way a little bit, but I'm going to stick to that diagonal forecast right across Baton Rouge, Louisiana, New Orleans, and then right into Alabama, Mississippi, Alabama, whichever order you want to put it in. Two very small pieces of land that stick out into the Gulf there. And then we got the Panhandle, and then we got to worry about Georgia, and so on and so forth. So we'll take it one step at a time, and I'll just read this to you very quickly. This is Tropical Depression 17. It's our 17th storm of the year. Chances are it will become Olga, maybe even by the time I'm done with this video. So Tropical Depression 17 formed in the western Gulf of Mexico on Friday, 2 days Friday. That was in the morning. And could strengthen into Tropical Storm Olga, more than likely will. According to the 11 a.m. update from the National Hurricane Center, the depression has maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. They're actually 43 right about now, and it's moving at 16 miles an hour. If you guys remember, Nestor was about 22, 23 miles an hour when it started really tightening up and forming right. It was shooting right for the Gulf Coast, about 22 miles an hour. A motion towards the north-northeast at a faster forward speed is expected Friday afternoon. So by this afternoon, they're expecting it to go faster. If it's at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, give or take, same exact speed as Nestor. This is like Nestor 2.0, guys, I'm telling you. And we may see a couple more of these exact types of storms with the heat index in the Caribbean and the mid-Caribbean being as warm as it is. Those storms are going to form right there. On the forecast track, the center of the depression should move across the northwestern Gulf of Mexico Friday afternoon, then move over the northern Gulf Coast Friday night or Saturday morning. So, what happened last Saturday morning? I want to see if you guys know this. I'll answer it for you. Nestor hit. That was 1 week ago on Saturday. So 1 week ago tomorrow, Nestor officially made landfall. Landfall being that it wasn't a hurricane. It didn't have a distinct eye, even though we saw one for a little bit. They still call them landfalls. Some strengthening is expected Friday, and that can only mean Saturday is going to have some strengthening too. So this could be a high-level tropical storm. It could be a mid to high level, and chances are of a Cat 1 probably low, but if it's there, we'll talk about it for sure. And the depression could become Tropical Storm Olga by Friday afternoon, which is literally in a half hour. So we could see that happen. We might see this thing turn into a tropical storm today. If it does, we'll be right back here to talk about it. If it does become a tropical storm, chances are it will. It will be short-lived, according to WP TV meteorologist Glenn Glazer. Later Friday and Saturday, a cold front will sweep down into the Gulf of Mexico, grab this system, and send it up into Louisiana. All right, so what did we just talk about there? We talked about how there was a cold front coming down. You can see it's already down into Mexico. There's parts of Mexico that are in the 40s right now. So this area is coming. You can see this little bow right here. This is what's coming underneath, or what will come underneath Olga, and kind of nip it in the bud right there and shoot it straight up through Louisiana. And then boom, it's going to come right out this way. So those spaghetti plots that have this thing coming north, chances are it won't, only because this high pressure is so big. It's wrapping all the way up towards Minnesota, and it's just going to slowly like blob its way over to the east, kind of barricading it from going anywhere but to the northeast, and then a possible nor'easter on top of that, which we'll talk about when it comes. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with the nor'easter stuff, and I want to try to keep this video a little short. Expected rainfall over the next 4 or 5 days is pretty interesting as well. We could see some heavy rains like just north of Louisiana there. If you match these colors up, we got some oranges in there, 5 inches of rain over about a 5-day period. But you can see the mess of this storm is going to be right in this area here. And then this is bowing up towards the northeast, just like we said, high pressure here. We'll keep it all to the northeast and to the east side of the U.S. That was a mouthful. Tropical Depression 17L. Yeah, you're probably right. I would not doubt it. Let's make it official. Boom. Norway, I love you, buddy. Tropical Depression 17 is here officially live. We did it live, guys. 7 a.m. Saturday. It's expected to be all the way to the north port of Louisiana. All right, so maybe a little sooner. This thing's moving. It's definitely moving. If it's moving at 16 miles an hour, I'd be surprised. It's probably closer to 20 right now. But we officially have Storm 17. Thank you, Norway, for pointing that out. Here is the mimic chart. Very similar pattern to what we saw with Nestor. This thing really sucked a lot of energy up from the Pacific Ocean right over Mexico, right from Central America area. You could see, even down this far, a lot of this area is being affected by this flow right here. And that's due to a lot of things. Again, that's the jet stream cutting down underneath. You can see it right there. All that cold air over Texas, almost kind of hugging underneath the bottom southwest part of it. And then it's going to take and kind of launch it like a baseball straight that way. So I could see why they're estimating possibly how this thing could go through the east part of Texas. But it just looks like that part of the jet stream is going to get underneath it. And it's going to kind of just, boom, last minute, put it right through in your Baton Rouge in Louisiana. Or New Orleans, rather, part of Louisiana. And then we're still, look, this swirl is still going on out there. Things nonstop. We got an Invest. This was actually considered an invest about an hour ago. I don't know if it's still there. Let's see. Yeah, it's there. 50% chance. More than likely a non-threat to the U.S. unless it follows this counterclockwise swirl and then gets caught back up in here. But we're seeing a lot of activity in the ocean lately, whether it's hurricane activity or just these crazy these weather shapes that we're seeing. If you guys remember that straight atmospheric river we saw coming off Florida into the Atlantic, it was a straight line, as straight as this 30-degree north line is right here. I'm not even kidding. It was incredible. In fact, I took snapshots of it just to make sure I wasn't going crazy. But one more time, we'll take a look at the flow. Here's that high-pressure west area flow that's coming in, bringing in all the cold air, dip in the jet stream. Jet stream comes like this and then up over top just like that. That's why we're seeing all the moisture flow over the central area of Texas, Oklahoma, and then into Illinois, Indiana, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Northeast, all that stuff. But really quick again, just watch how this all comes together. This is what's important. This is how we determine tropical depressions, tropical storms, and stuff like that. They just get much bigger. And yep, there it is right there. That's the center area of it right there. In fact, let's go to the other one. This one's better because we got a couple more frames now. So you can see right here is the bulk of the storm. And then to the east side of it, these are starting to blow up too. So this is going to be our big guy right here. That thing's going to move straight up into this area, in my opinion. All right, how you guys doing? Will Kansas see anything? You know what? It's hard to say about Kansas right now. Thank you, Savers, guys. I appreciate that. As far as Kansas goes, it's hard to say because we're not quite there yet. We got to give it a little more time. I don't like getting too far ahead of myself. Right now, we're focusing on what this thing's going to do in the Gulf and up through Louisiana. So, but Kansas isn't out of the loop. I can't say yes or no to that right now. Let me double check the tablet here. We're at 11:25. Not bad. All right, we're going to cut this short in a little bit, guys, only because it doesn't take as much time to get it back online. So that's a good thing. Any Atlanta effect, tornadoes, bad rain? Well, we just had a tornado warning in Mississippi. Let me restart this program because I think it froze, to be honest. It did freeze, but good news, no more tornado in New Gulfport. Now, I'm curious, though. I want to see if that was a tornado. If that was a tornado, guys, that's like the fourth one we caught live, that we've caught live. All right, so it's saying it was capable of producing a tornado. So they don't have anything as far as anything touching down on the ground. But very strong winds, guys. If this is ahead of the storm, we got to understand what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a fast-moving storm. We got the jet stream adding to it with that very high 30,000-foot, almost shear wind, you want to call it. The jet stream is about 30,000 feet up in the air. All that momentum aids into this stuff. So it's very important to know. That's why I have 50 charts up at any given time. Boom, 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 boom. See, like all these different charts, but all they do is give you one conclusion. And even that can be wrong sometimes. So you kind of just watch the areas of warning that they're focusing on, and you kind of just break it down a little bit more and more as much as you can. So, all right, we're done with this. This is a good chart always. Jinu03, Jinu03, thank you so much for being here, man. It's all good. It's not even work to me. It's good knowing that, people can learn stuff from this, I learned a lot on my own. I had some family help, but nonetheless, it's all in your gut. A lot of weather stuff is in your gut. You got to just know where to look. Let's check out the lightning. Not as bad as Nestor. Nestor was packing a punch with lightning. We had about 40. I had a video with about 35,000 lightning strikes in 6 hours. It was closer to 60, I found out. 60,000 lightning strikes in a 6-hour period. So 10,000 an hour, that's a lot for one storm. That's just one part of the globe we were looking at, too. So we could see the lightning is pretty decent here, just at that border of Louisiana and Mississippi here. So this is, again, this is where the hot spot is of the storm right now. And we can see that here. If we go back to our reflectivity chart, look at these cells, guys. These are strong cells. If we were, all right, for example, if we were in the Northeast here and these cells were coming this way, these would be major power outage knocking storms. Like this would take out your power. This would do a lot of stuff you don't want to happen. And because it's coming from that warm Gulf, they're just that much more powerful. They're packed with energy, and each one of these lines is a different storm cell. And they're all surrounding Gulfport, Bullocks, Bay St. Louis, Diamond Head's in there. And then this straight line one here is really good. Good as in a good profile, not good as for the people that live there. Eden Isle, Sidell, going all the way up to Pearl River. You guys got to keep an eye out too. These are very capable of producing tornadoes, just so you know. So if you're in the southeast area of New Orleans, if you're in Mississippi, the south end of Alabama, even into the east side or west side of the panhandle of Florida right now, you got to be on alert with this weather, at least for the rest of the day. I know it's a lot to ask, a lot to worry about and think about, but better safe than sorry. Let me turn this off before it gets annoying. See, that lightning's really starting to pop off in New Orleans, Gulfport, right in that area, right near that area we don't want it, and that's where that counterclockwise spin is going to go as well. So there you have it, guys. I mean, we got 100% chance of cyclone formation. We have a tropical depression now, officially tropical depression 17, 17th storm of the season. It's October 25th, 6 days till Halloween. Just remember that. Still saying 35 miles per hour, but I'm convinced it's faster, and it's moving faster than 16 miles an hour, 14 knots. Definitely. And, yeah, Norway, I think you're right. This thing's going to form only because, I mean, just look at it. Look at this branch off here, too. This is just incredible. Like, just that you can see how powerful the jet stream is by the time we get to this frame right here. You could just see how it dips down. It comes down like this, allowing all the cold air down, and then boom, it comes straight up over the Northeast, just whipping all this stuff over. So anything that's coming off of this storm is coming up through Texas, Louisiana, and boom, right into the Northeast. YouTube has turned my volume down, or was it me? Not yet as far as Atlanta goes, Swagger. Not yet. But you got to understand the angle of this thing. Like if I back this up, kind of just keep an eye on the dark black clouds. It's coming up, and then if it follows this contour right here, this line, it's going to come up and over, kind of like that. Now, I don't want to say it's not going to be this defined once it gets inland that much, but it's going to bring stuff we don't want to see. It's another weather system just like Nestor. In fact, it's going to mimic Nestor to a very high extent. And we're going to see more of these storms in the Caribbean here. We may even see one in the South Caribbean like Nate that shoots the gap in between Cuba and Cancun, Mexico. Those are always the ones you don't want to see because they have more time in warm water. And if they're not interacting with land, they're coming straight up to the Gulf. So we're kind of lucking out in that we're getting these storms as tropical depressions and tropical storms as opposed to Category 1 and 2 hurricanes because it's like 15 times the damage and the catastrophe that comes along with it. So, and we're getting lucky right now, believe it or not, because we're in that small little peak, what have you, of that hurricane peak season. Like we peak in September, okay, and then we go down the chart a little bit, about halfway, and then it's always like October 20th to Halloween. Basically, we have a jagged edge that comes up. And it's weird how that happens. So we go, we gradually rise throughout the summer, July, August, and then September's the peak, September 20th. And then as we get to October 20th, it comes down, and then boom, it shoots right up for one more good shot, and then it goes back down as we get towards the end of November. So it's odd. It's just odd. It's the way that the jet stream works, the polar vortexes, all that stuff. We can get into all that lingo if you want, but, the bottom line is we're seeing these storms happen, and this is the second one in a week. So that makes me wonder about nor'easters too, because when you see a rapid fire tropical storms and hurricanes going into fall and mid-fall, you start seeing the other end of that, which would be nor'easters. And if you guys remember, I'll talk about that March till the day I die. That March, we had one every single week because I drove in every single one of those. They all happened on a Thursday. Every single one of those four nor'easters 2 Marches ago was on a Thursday. Bomba Genesis all day long. All right, so I think we're good here. Did I finish reading this? I did. Good. We're going to get rid of this before it gets me in trouble. We'll redo this really quick one more time. All right, so right now, as of right now, Harrison, Mississippi was the only area with a threat, but that's going to change, guys. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to change. We're going to see a lot of these cells coming up, and you can see how there's nothing really at the bottom edge here. That's because everything's coming up this way. So you're going to see a lot coming from the mid part of Louisiana, straight up through Baton Rouge, in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, probably clipping Baton Rouge, Lafayette, those areas, and then, coming into Mississippi, Alabama, Panhandle of Florida, and then Georgia. You can already see rain up in this area too. Just because the radar stops here doesn't mean that the weather's stopping here. So Birmingham, Alabama, and all these surrounding areas too certainly need to watch out for this weather pattern coming through. Yeah, I agree, Norway. Good point. Yeah, I don't know what they got me turned down for. They could turn me down all they want. I'll get a lip reader in here. No, it's all good, Cheryl. As long as you could hear me, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to go through the comments real quick. What's that? Any northeasters on the horizon? Possibly from this, Just Everything. Good to see you, buddy, by the way. Yeah, we could possibly see one branch off from this. I'll find the screen for you real quick. I'll show you that, and then I'll let you guys go. Because we'll be back on here again, for sure. Where can I go to show you where that would happen? Might have to just put in tropical tidbits real quick. I'll show you. It doesn't show a direct nor'easter, but it shows the potential for one. And over the next couple days, we should be able to see whether or not it's going to happen. So this is the mess we got going on right now in the Gulf. Tablet. Silly tablet. Sorry. Got to take that. Norway. I'm going to do a separate video for the Indian Ocean. Actually, I just met somebody from Bangladesh, believe it or not. That's right between India and the east part of that ocean. So anyway, Just Everything. Here we go. So this is what you want to see. We got the storm going on in the Gulf right now. Now you'll see over time what this thing might just do. Oh, it's a new set of data. Let me backtrack here a little bit. Sorry about that. There we go. We should be good now. So you're going to see that's going to come up straight through Louisiana, 1,000 millibars in pressure. We got that back end storm coming down from the west. And now look, it's already taking the shape of a nor'easter right in the middle of the country. Now, again, guys, what did I show you? And I got to show you again now because it's just like so many coincidences with this storm and Nestor. Where do we got it? Where do we got it? Where do we got it? Come on, I know it's in one of these thumbnails here. Here we go. I'll just show you this thumbnail. This was from Nestor right here. So this was the end of Nestor. So we had Nestor come through. This is when that storm shot to the southwest instead of moving up. And look at this shape we had here. Giant question mark over the middle of the country. Had this been over here, it would have been a nor'easter 100%. Some of the winds here were so high, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour right where this curls here. And now I want you to look at the chart today. This is exactly what's happening after we see this storm. Very similar traits. We got that 9 shape going right over the Great Lakes. Back end high pressure forcing it to the east. And that's going to peak right over the northeast. So, I mean, think about it. It's right there. It's right there. CJ Thomas, that's what we're talking about right now. So right now, New York is good to go. New York, Pennsylvania, I'm right here in Northeast PA, so it's blue skies out. It's a little crisp out, but in the coming days, we got some stuff to deal with, and that's going to be this right here. See that one little strip? That's severe weather right there. So if that's the 27th, that's 2 days away. This is pretty promising. We got tighter rings up in this area. It's going to be pretty windy in the Northeast coast, that's for sure. and it's being pushed by a high pressure. See this buckle right here? We're going to be seeing snow in this area. So this may be our first legit. I know we had the letter A, I believe, with winter storms. So could be B, C, Norway. Maybe you can help me with that. I forget what letter we're on winter storms because from being away and then watching these storms, it's been crazy. But that's a nor'easter shape right there. So good point. Good job in bringing that up. Just everything. I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. That thing jogs to the east. We're talking Massachusetts 97-mile-an-hour winds again. How crazy was that? Paul Bagley? Stop it. Oh, God. Oh, Mr. Paul Bagley. What happened to your avatar, Paul? I'm sorry. That's just funny stuff. That was clever, by the way. I'm not ready for snow either. All right, guys, before I get too giggly here and this turns into a video people don't want to watch, I want to make sure this info's out to you. It's very important that we know about this. You guys got to stop laughing or I'm not going to stop laughing. Even though you're typing it, I'm going to read it and I'm going to start laughing. CJ Thompson. You know what? That's funny you mentioned. I was just talking to someone from Long Island today. I mean, I spend a lot of time in Long Island, specifically Montauk, which is literally, if you want to see what Montauk is, they call it the end for a reason. This is Montauk. Here's East Hampton. This is Montauk. Okay? I lived here for like 7 years. And I'll even show you guys something even crazier. You want to see where I used to work? I still work there, but the Rolling Stones wrote a song about this place, so I'll let you guys do the research. If you figure it out, good on you. But the Rolling Stones wrote a song about this place I used to work, if I could find it. So many of these buildings look the same when you're like going from Google Earth. It's right on the beach, though. Okay, there we go. That's the circle. I don't know who that is. You're so young to have lived in so many places. Oh, it's crazy. I know. I was in California for like 5 years, Florida for 3. I grew up in New York, Westchester County. Man, I lived in Connecticut. Lived right near Sandy Hook. I was like literally the next town over from Sandy Hook, right in New Haven. Why can't I find this? This is kind of annoying right now. Oh, there's the wedge right there. Here we go. Splitsville. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll give you an idea of where it is. It's right in this area. So if you guys can find it, you let me know. It's named after a Rolling Stones song in the 70s. Not a real popular song, but nonetheless, the Rolling Stones wrote a song about this place because they used to come here to get away from the public. Montauk used to be a very secluded, not known town, and now it's just a straight up vacation town. It's like all summer long, it's just crazy here. And Montauk's kind of where they got the idea for Jaws. That's where Jaws was caught. It was right off the coast here in the Long Island, not the Long Island Sound, but right in this area out here. So this is the end right here, Montauk, for those of you that were wondering. All right, so sorry about that. Got off track like we always do. And we're pretty much going to wrap this up, guys. We're good. Memory Motel. Tell me you know about it, huh? That's funny. That didn't take long, did it? Actually, now I gotta show you something. All right. Here we go. This is like a vintage shirt from there. Should be able to see it, right? Yeah. So yeah, I managed that place for a long time. What's this, Norway? Should I open this now? Yeah, Chris, I'm glad you made it, man. Stop taking pictures for 10 minutes and you made a live stream. Check out Mobile, Alabama. About to get slammed. Watch this. Look at this cell right here. By Tillman's Corner, Theodore. We're going right to Mobile. We were talking about Mobile, Alabama, too, during Nestor. So, and look at all the rain, rain icons popping up now. So this thing is really moving its way into the Gulf states now, which is important to remember. Oh, it's a Navy site. Okay, yeah, we could open that. Let's open it. Oh, this is the Indian Ocean storm. Okay, so we're going to do another video on this, guys. Here's New Delhi. This is the Indian Ocean. Very big typhoon / cyclone developing in that area as well. So I'm going to save this for the next video. Thank you, Norway. Appreciate that. We went through tropical tidbits. We're all set there. Let's see what pops up here. About an hour ago expired. All right, so as of right now, the only tornado warning we had that was of notice, actually, where there was two. One in Louisiana, one in Mississippi. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Port Forkin. Okay, so it's 23 miles south of Galano, moving at 30 miles per hour. And then we had one at 9:39 a.m. Central Time, which was an hour before here, 10:47, really 9:39. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Gulfport, moving at 25 miles an hour. So that will not be the end of this. That will certainly not be the end. A lot of peel off going off here, Panhandle, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and then we got the blob coming, which is going to make landfall. You know, we might get Olga named before the afternoon, so 3, 4 o'clock, give or take. I should be back on around 5. I want to say 5 o'clock, maybe a little sooner. I'll put a timer on there for us, so we'll do it then. Sloppy tuna. Oh my God. Yeah, I could say I've been there a few times. CJ Thompson, that's so funny you said that because we would stay open knowing that they were closing, and we'd get 75 people within 10 seconds that just came in. CJ, we'll talk about that for real. Harmon, thank you. I appreciate it. We like to have fun on here too. We like to get serious stuff out, and we like to have fun. So it's hit or miss. At least the first half of the video is going to be all information. The second half is me laughing and cracking up because you could take the pink tuna to the sloppy tuna. Oh my goodness, what happened? Remember the cross-eyed clam? What names they have for bars out there? I mean, it's all bars. It's all bars and clubs. That's all Montauk is, and then mansions. And then one 7-Eleven. They put a 7-Eleven there for actually, and it's been putting people out of business, so not everyone's too happy about it. All right, so enough of this. Guys, I appreciate your time, as always. It's cool. That's one of the joys of life. Yeah, it is. You're right. Live streams you should be able to do what you want, but this one is kind of important, so I want to make sure everyone knows what's going on here. Obviously, we have a lot of rain. There's the tornado warnings coming up right now, guys, so we'll be back sooner than I think. Tornado watches, for the most part, they're Mississippi, Alabama right now, and with a marine warning. So we got the high rain rates in Louisiana and Mississippi. Then we got the tornado warnings in the yellow here. This is county by county. So anyone wants to come to this chart, it's weather.gov. This will pop right up, and you can literally click your county, and it gives you detailed information about what's going on in your county. So this is a very useful website. It gives you all the severe warnings, all that stuff, heavy cells. I mean, you name it. You can do anything with this site. So, Chris, enjoy, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Harmon, thank you again. I appreciate it. I really do. You know, you get comfortable with public speaking, and, you know, you can kind of just go with the flow. No pun intended with this thing. Oh, man, it just does not look fun. But, all right, guys, I'm going to let you go. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. We'll be back around 5 o'clock, I want to say. 5 o'clock sounds about right to me. We'll have a lot of new info for there. The last video was at like 6 in the morning, so every 6 hours is a good time to check up on this. If you live in this area, though, you want to be checking on it pretty often. throughout today at least, and more than likely tomorrow. So we'll have a lot to talk about. Thank you guys. Nina, thank you. Norway, thank you as always, buddy. Earl, thank you. Jinu03, thank you. Harmon, thank you. Christopher, Margaret, thank you so much. And everyone else in the chat. Harmon, I like your hat, by the way. Let me know where you got that. But here we go, guys. It's time for Olga. We just had Nestor last week. We have Olga this week. LMNOP. Are we going to have P next week? We don't know yet. We'll find out. All right, guys, be good. I'll talk to you all very soon. Have a great day. 5 days, 1 night till Halloween. Talk to you later. Bye.